All right, I'm ready to show you what I'm going to pack to take to my retreat that's coming up. Right now I'm pointing out my little red wagon. That is a wonderful item to have if you plan on traveling to retreats or classes. It folds up to the size of a folding chair, but expands out and can carry 150 pounds of supplies and projects and everything you need. So right now it's folded up, but will be unfolded and used very shortly. I'm going to take my own sewing machine chair. Nice heavy cushion because you sit for a good number of hours, but I'm taking my chair with its back support. Then in this bag is my traveling iron and a silicone base to put it on, so when I get ready to come home and it's still warm, it won't burn things up. Plus I made this bag and it has that special heat resistant liner. Then I always like to take my own surge protector. All you need is a couple irons to pop the fuse and you could damage your machine. I take my own cord reel. I like it. It has an automatic on off button, and I plug this into the cord reel and it gives me extra outlets for things like my fan. I'm of an age that hot flashes can be a problem, so it's nice to have a fan with me. Up here, to go along with the iron, I have my water bottle. This I learned somewhere along the way and I love it. It's a condiment bottle like for ketchup or something, but it's a great way to put water in your iron without spilling it all over the table. Then I have a can of starch because I plan to start a new project and I do like to use starch. Then I have one of these camper shelf liners so that I can put my pedal on it at the retreat and it won't move around on me. A pair of slippers. Just little something I can stash away, take off my shoes, get comfortable. This neat little thing I found at the dollar store. Love the dollar store. It opens up and then it has a little thing I can put on it, on the floor of it, a little board, and then it becomes a trash can for me for all the little bits and bobs that I need to throw away while I'm at a retreat. Then it folds back up and that's it. Tissues. Then this is my pink tote, best thing I ever bought. And I've got a pin cushion, and I like to bring my pin cushion that I have put on this reel, bobbin, whatever you want to call it here, because it stands up and I can see it. I don't lose it around my machine. My feet and tools, clips, things to do binding. Any medications you need, make sure you take your medications. If I do some quilting and on my domestic machine, gloves for that. Tape. I bring two kinds of tape. Masking and painters. Believe me, you'll find plenty of good uses. I'm going to do some chain piecing, so my little cutter for my chain piecing. Then lots of bobbins, and if I can, I try to pre-wind all my bobbins for my projects. It's a saying that says it's all fun and games until the bobbin runs out. I don't like my bobbins running out at retreats. Headset for the audio books I bring for my audio player, because sometimes I just kind of want to listen to a story and cut out the noise. And my cutter and pins and a sharpener and snips. I love my snips. And a fan for those senior moments. My hearing aids. Something to this. Have you seen these before? Best thing. Quilters are hot. Yes, we are. You just take this out, it pops up, and you've got a lovely fan. So anyway, but there's all kinds of markers and just about everything you can imagine. A protein bar and seam ripper any, batteries, extra thread, needles, everything I could possibly use. And this stays packed, so I'm ready to go at a moment's notice. Hand sanitizer. You never know what you're going to need. So, then, before I move away from here, I showed you this before. So that holds my pattern while I'm sewing. This I made with a pattern I found on Craftsy. And sometimes there's a shortage of horizontal space. So this is wonderful. It sets up, and all these pockets hold implements. And if you think about it, that's vertical where this takes up actual table space. Okay, then I have cute things here that my daughter's made for me. We love our chickens. Both my daughters and I raise chickens. Or should we say, we raise eggs. And here is a little bunny that one of my daughters made for me. And she also, this is Katie, and she made this wonderful elephant at a knitting retreat as a challenge. See the beads knitted in? I love this thing. So they go with me, just to remind me of my children. Here I have, now I'm going to a short retreat, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm taking 5 projects. And you might think, 5 projects, isn't that over ambitious? Well, yes, but what I have found is that sometimes you'll be working on a project and you don't have a certain part to finish that project. Well, then you're stuck. And I've also found sometimes I don't feel like working on a certain project. So if I take enough of a selection, then I'm always happy and productive. Back in here is a project waiting to be bound. So in case I just feel like sitting and chatting and doing something by hand. I also take a chair where I can put my feet up because, your ankles can swell if you sit too long at that sewing machine. I've got a cutting mat and I've got my shape cutter ruler. Then I've got a wonderful lamp. And write your name on everything. You see, I write my name on everything. But this is wonderful because it's got an outlet and it's also got room for a few tools in it. Here are all my sacks and satchels that are going to carry all of these things. Then I have folding tables. And these are wonderful. I take 2 folding tables, one for cutting and one to put my ironing surface on. So I love these because you have to share tables usually at these retreats. So any extra table space you can have. This is here to show you that I don't like carrying my pocketbook around with me because I'm always worried about it, worried I'm going to lose it. So what I do is I carry this backpack, and it's got a flashlight, so if I'm coming back to the room at night, I can see my way. It has a poncho in this, so if it rains all of a sudden, I'm ready. And here is the front pouch. I can keep my key in, I can keep my medicines. Like Advil, you need Advil, bring Advil. I can keep Altoids in. And then in here, I've got my wallet. I've got an audio book. I have an audio player. I have another fan. I have my camera. Just anything I'm going to need. I do have asthma, so I've got my medication handy. So this, I know if I grab this, then I've got it set. All right, and as you'll see when I set up, this contraption is part of my Deb Bling. So down here, you see those 2 folding tables right there. You can get them from Target or Walmart for less than $20 a piece. And they're wonderful. And they're a lot lighter than the old-fashioned wooden tray tables. This is my tuto that I bought for half price. Love it dearly. You see my ironing surface sitting out there. Inside is my machine. And I've got the tray table that goes with the machine. and all of my tools that I possibly could use. So I think this is pretty good for what I take. And then I also take, clothes, comfortable things to wear. It's not a fashion show. It's be comfortable. Especially don't go with tight pants or tight socks. Those things can really bind you. Make sure you take all your medications, take magazines. I take my e-reader, and that way I can read at night and not disturb anyone. I take my computer. That way, usually places have you can sign on to their internet. Just don't check your bank. Remember, those are public places and you don't want anyone snooping your information. And take slippers, take a comfortable change of clothes, take something like a sweater, so whatever the temperature there, you can get comfortable. But I think I've shown you pretty much all you need for a good retreat. And just double check, make sure that you not only have the fabric you need for a project, but the pattern. Double check you have the templates, the pattern, the rulers. Check that you have the right thread, all of that. And then, if you're worried, go ahead and pack it. I would rather take too much than end up too short, because where we go for our retreat, we're out in the woods, and you're not going to just find a Walmart right down the street. So make sure, make a list, and every day I update my list, and that way I think I've never forgotten anything too important. So I can't wait. Let's head to the retreat. Okay guys, here we go. Retreat on the way. As you can see, the inside of the car is pretty full. This is all my personal stuff. And here's all my retreat stuff. So here we go. I'm off to drive. And the next time I video, we'll be there. Bye. I'm here. Now for the work. Unloading everything into the room, but it's so worth it because soon I'll just be sewing and doing whatever I want to do. All right, I'll show you again once I'm set up. I'm here at my lodge, and I will get all my stuff moved into my room. I've already got my stuff set up over at the hall, so when I'm done here, I'll go back and show you the hall. All right, here's my room, number 4. This is a Salvation Army camp, and they do wonderful camps for kids. So it's not plush or fancy, but it does great work. And it's very convenient for all of us. We don't need that much. All right. Now I'll go into the room, and here is my room. And as I said, it doesn't need to be fancy, but it's got a good place to sleep. I've got my own bathroom. That's always a good thing. So I'm happy. Hello, here we are at the big hall, and there's a beautiful window. I mean, if you can't get inspired to sew here, I don't know what. I don't know where you'd have to be. And out here is a lovely pond off of that concrete stoop. And I don't know if you can see the fountain. There's a couple fountains in it, and a bridge, but it's charming. And then I'll slowly turn. We have some cutting tables that some smart member brought the feet for. And here are some sewing tables. We make sure, since there's not that many people here, we make sure that we have lots of sewing space. You don't always get enough space at some classes or retreats. Here is my sewing area. Got my bling going. And here is the shamrock table runner I'm trying to finish. But I bring these folding tables, which are really helpful to have more space. And here's a little fold-away trash can. And I'll go back around this way and show you some other people set up. Virginia's here working on a beautiful quilt. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And here are some more sewing areas. And then I told them I don't want to film them without their permission, but just so you'll know, for here at least, we and just wave to you, but we're having dinner down this end. So very lovely. We stay in the same room until we decide to call it quits for a night. All right. Well, that's the room tour for now. I'll talk to you soon. Well, the nicest thing is when y'all are helping her do the layout. That's really beautiful, Anne. Wonderful.
Yep, I agree.
And Joanne, what's this quilt called? Orange Slices Twirl?
That's exactly orange slices twirl. Yes, the twirl is for you. Label them. I got dots. I do. If you don't, I don't have dots. I don't have nothing. I have. Okay. What do you call? I mean, no. I mean.
So right here of Kay's quilt.
Here we got the girls.
Okay, here we have some blocks I thought I'd share with you. Pretty beautiful and amazing, especially when you realize they're only 3.5 inches square. These were done by Miss Becky at the retreat, and she doesn't even brag. I'd be bragging on these. You wanted to know why it's so important to be so careful and organized. This is what this quilt will become. That's amazing. Okay, here is a Pat Sloan block that proved very tricky to create. This is the sad part. When packed up and it's time to go. Most everybody's gone. It's time to say goodbye, retreat. See, here's the car, ready to go home. Then I've got to unpack all this. But it was a fun retreat and I got a lot done. It was all good.